Normally, at the start, I like to try and say something funny. I ain't got nothing. This was crap. Morbius. Jared Leto plays Michael Morbius. He is a doctor. He is suffering with a blood condition. He's on crutches. He's pretty mashed up. And then he mixes vampire bat blood with his blood because, you know, comic book movie. And now we have Morbius, the living vampire. And I don't know how you make that concept rubbish, but they managed to pull it off, mate. In fact, story-wise, it's your traditional, very, very rubbish version of an origin movie. The first half is him dealing with his new powers, figuring out stuff. Then you have the moment where the villain comes in and it is so bad. And then the last act is the big fight, which I will talk about that at the end. You've pretty much seen it, mate. There's no twists and turns. There's no cool story stuff. It does nothing new for a movie where you have a vampire, bruv. Not directly in the MCU, but in the Sony Venomverse, whatever it's bloody called, I do not care. But we live in a world where the multiverse is real, so they can all connect. How can you make it this bad? Is genuinely shocking. Sony, just stop. Please just stop. As for Jared Leto, I don't know what to say. It's like he's trying his best. You can tell. He's not phoning it in for a paycheck. He really is trying. But everything else around him is utter garbage, mate. In fact, if you think of Suicide Squad, where Joker's in there, he is so bad in that. Like, that version of Joker, I actually want to rip my eyes out. But then if you look at Zack Snyder's Justice League, we get the 5-minute Joker clip, and that clip I actually thought was really sick, and I'd love to see a Joker movie based on that. So I firmly believe, still, Jared Leto's a good actor. It's just, if the people around him don't know what they're doing, it's still gonna wind up smelling like garbage. And trust me, this movie reeks of it. Now, I love vampires. They're actually my favourite creatures of all time, next to the xenomorph, and I always look at vampire stuff with a very, like, focused eye, because I'm looking for anything that just annoys me, and then that's it, bruv. But the vampire stuff's good. I love it, and I'll love it forever. What are you doing in this movie? For me, it could be one of the worst vampire things I've ever seen, genuinely. In fact, what's quite funny, in my movie theatre, it said the movie's rated 15. However, as I sat there and saw it's rated 15, I googled it, but in America, it is not rated R, and 15 in the UK normally means it's rated R. This ain't. This is 12, and it is noticeable, mate. No blood, no kills, no bites, no gores, no violence. Nothing! When I see something with vampires in, I need to see some biting. There's jack shit, bruv. There is nothing, mate. There's no kills. It has the Venom thing, or Venom Let There Be Carnage thing. You know, where Carnage was murking people off left, right, and centre, and just before, you know, he's about to kill someone, the camera will cut away, or you'll see it, but there'll be zero blood. It's this, but even worse. Which makes no sense, because the way he survives and lives is to drink blood. But don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, they worked out a way around it. And it is possibly the worst thing I've ever seen. They've made synthetic blood, and it's blue, just so it doesn't even look like real blood. It looks like ice cream in a pouch. All the vampire stuff was terrible, mate. Really, really bad. We live in a world where Deadpool can just do all this madness, rated R, and make big boy dollars, and Sony bottled it again? We thought maybe Let There Be Carnage will be rated R, and they didn't do it, and then they did do it in Morbius. They're just not learning the lesson. The violence, well, there ain't any. The action was crap. Bad story with the worst vampire stuff ever, but there's still 3 things that make this movie an absolute shit show, ladies and gentlemen. Number 1, the villain. I'm not going to spoil it, do not worry, because they were not in the trailer much at all. Like it's some big secret. It is one of the worst, most annoying villains I've seen in a very, very long time. Right at the bottom of the barrel, absolutely atrocious. And then, number 2, ladies and gentlemen, just to make it even more worse, the final act. Oh my god. Do you remember Venom? Where Venom fought Riot? Is his name Riot or is it Rebel? I don't even care what his name is. It doesn't even matter because it is that bad, that forgettable. You know, you couldn't see anything. They made it worse. I cannot believe it. They actually made it worse. The powers of Morbius is already like kind of visually striking. You have all this craziness on screen and it is pitch black. You cannot see what's going on. The camera is right up in your face. Literally, the final act is so bad, bruv. It is absolute diabolical, mate. For a comic book movie, you got a final act this bad. You should be ashamed. It is just diarrhea, mate. That's it. Absolute diarrhea on the screen. But then,
ladies and gentlemen,
I didn't watch this in 4DX, but you know, you get the water in your face and the wind and all that stuff. Imagine that diarrhea on screen leaping out and actually hitting you in the goddamn face. The third and final thing that just is the cherry on top of the diarrhea pudding that is this movie. It's going to be hard to explain, but basically the best bit in this movie is the after credit scene, and it's also the worst bit of the whole movie. Because the after credit scene should have been in the movie like the trailers alluded to. Yep. Have they done it? To be honest, majority probably already know what it is, but just in case the 1% who watches the video don't know, I'm not going to like straight up say it, but it's all over the internet. It was the reshoot stuff. It is absolutely bad, mate, and I'm going to give Morbius 3 nerds out of 10. I cannot believe they made this worse than Venom. That was like never plausible in my brain. It was something that could never happen. Surely not. The goddamn living vampire. How sick is that? But you fucked it up. That's it. I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. If you've seen it, you probably know it sucks, but let me know down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in a bit.